Welcome to Payne Stewart's video guide of golf etiquette, the do's and don'ts of golf. Play the right way with more fun in 4 hours. And now, here's your host, Payne Stewart.
Hi everybody, my name's Payne Stewart, and welcome to my video guide of golf etiquette. If there's one thing that plagues today's game of golf is slow play. The emphasis of this video is to teach you how to play the right way, have more fun in 4 hours. A day of fun can often lead to 18 holes of futility and frustration if most of your day is spent waiting on the group in front of you. So the bottom line is, pick up the pace and keep the game moving. Practicing good golf etiquette has played an instrumental role in my success as a golf professional, because I'm more familiar with how the game should be played, which makes me more comfortable on the golf course. When I'm comfortable, I play with greater confidence, which usually leads to lower scores. Much of the information in this video is directed at amateurs who play simply for fun. But trust me when I tell you, there are plenty of guys out there on tour who could stand to watch this video. The fact is, even the experts need a little refresher course every now and then. Over the next few minutes, I'll try to give you a better understanding of the fundamental difference between fair and foul play. I'll illustrate the do's and don'ts of golf, and I'll answer some of those questions you might be afraid to ask. Instead of bombarding you with boring rules and regulations you couldn't possibly remember and probably will never use, I'll spend the next 30 minutes teaching you how to play the right way in a shorter time with maximum non-stop fun. Whether you're a beginner, intermediate, or an expert, this tape will teach you the proper way to play the game of golf from tee to green. Enough said. Let's get on with my video guide of golf etiquette. Before you get to the golf course, you're going to need some equipment to get off on the right foot. For starters, you'll need some golf clubs. A driver, a few irons, and a putter should be enough to get you started. But as your game improves, so will your need for more equipment. Some golf courses rent equipment, but having your own clubs allows you the freedom to play and practice whenever and wherever you'd like without having to pay rental fees every time you go to the course. Golf shoes will help improve your traction and balance while stabilizing your swing. Some tennis shoes are acceptable, but not really recommended. Of course, you'll need golf balls, the number of which depends greatly on your ability. Optional items you may want to add include sunscreen, rain gear, an umbrella, a towel, a divot repair tool, and a ball retriever. Add in a few tees, a pencil, scorecard, and find an inexpensive golf bag to put it in, and you'll be ready for fun in the sun. Whether you rent or own your own equipment, inventory your golf bag before you get out on the golf course and discover you don't have the right tools to play the game. If you're going to play the game of golf, you really need to dress the part. And as you know, I take my fashion very seriously. Now, I wear knickers because I find them more comfortable, but that doesn't mean that you have to. There are a few fashion guidelines you really need to follow. The men should always wear a shirt with sleeves and a collar. There's a wide variety of inexpensive quality golf shirts usually available in your local pro shop. Wear loose-fitting, comfortable slacks or dress shorts. Sorry guys, no gym shorts, cutoffs, no tank tops, and don't even think about showing up shirtless. For ladies, a blouse or golf shirt with sleeves and collar is appropriate, with a golf skirt, slacks, or dress shorts. Sorry gals, no cutoffs, halter tops, or bathing suits. Both men and women are required to wear shoes at all times. Golf shoes are strongly recommended. Tennis shoes are tolerable, but absolutely, positively, no bare feet. Unless you have aspirations of playing the game professionally, you're probably out for some fun and some exercise. Now, you're not going to have a whole lot of fun. You're not going to get much exercise in that dreaded 6-hour round of golf. Now, on an average, 18 holes of golf should take about 4 hours. So let's get on with the game and keep the pace moving. First of all, plan ahead. If you want to play golf, call your pro shop and reserve a tee time. If you're planning a special event with friends or business colleagues, which includes a round of golf, and you know ahead of time the date and time you'd like to play, don't hesitate to call your local pro shop and reserve your tee time. Most pro shops have reservation books that plan weeks and months ahead of time. A little pre-planning will ensure you and your guests a great round of golf at a time that is convenient for you. Once you've reserved a tee time, it is your responsibility to keep it. Now, if for any reason you can't keep your scheduled time, cancel it as soon as possible. An early cancellation will allow your local pro shop to assign your tee time to another group of golfers. But be forewarned, many golf courses will charge greens fees to individuals who fail to show up for scheduled tee times. When you reserve a tee time, you're reserving the privilege to play at a specific time and place. Therefore, it's your obligation to be on the tee and ready to play at your scheduled time. To avoid missing your tee time, plan to arrive at the golf course at least 30 minutes ahead of time. Each round of golf should start and finish in the pro shop, which means you should check in before you start and after you finish. Arriving 30 minutes ahead of schedule will allow you enough time to unload your equipment, check in at the pro shop, and prepare mentally and physically for the round ahead. If you plan to practice at the driving range or putting green, give yourself another 20 to 30 minutes to make your scheduled tee time. When you're late getting off the first tee, you not only hold up your group, but every group behind you as well. Before you start, you must know where to tee off. As you look over the tee box, you'll notice a series of different colored markers. These markers indicate the front of the area in which you should tee your ball up, and are set according to a player's ability. The markers set farthest away from the hole are usually the tournament tees, reserved for tournament play and heavy hitters. Most golfers will play from the first two sets of tees depending on your ability. It's a judgment call, and you're the judge. If you're a beginner or a short hitter, start from the first set of men's tees. As you improve over time, you'll want to move back to the next set of tees, which will make the hole a little longer and make the game a little more challenging. The tee box closest to the hole, usually marked with red markers, is the tee box most commonly used by the ladies. Once you've selected the tee from which to play from, draw an imaginary rectangle between two tee markers that extends 2 club lengths back from these markers. This rectangle represents the hitting area and is the only area from which you should tee off from. Unless instructed otherwise, always start at the first hole. The player with the lowest handicap will usually tee off first or have the honors. From that point forward, the low score from the previous hole will have the honors. Now, if the course is crowded, ditch the honors and allow the short hitters to tee off first, but wait until you are sure the group ahead of you is out of range. As you prepare to hit, make sure nobody's standing behind you. Give the player addressing the ball ample room to hit, and never stand directly behind the player addressing the ball. It's distracting and it's dangerous. When a player is preparing to swing, it's common courtesy to be quiet and stand still. The same stands true throughout the round. From the first tee to the 18th green, when it's time to swing, do the right thing. Be courteous, be quiet, and be still. If you hit a great tee shot, be happy. If you don't, bite the bullet. Don't stand on the tee box hitting balls until you find one you like. These makeup shots are called mulligans, and they do nothing more than back up traffic on the golf course. If everyone hit mulligans off every tee, it would take 2 weeks to play a round of golf. Mulligans should be taken in one place and one place only. That's at the driving range. According to the rules of golf, if a tee shot lands out of bounds or becomes lost, you're obligated to hit from the same spot. You must count both the shot hit out of bounds and the next shot from the same position. Plus, you must add a penalty stroke. If you think your first shot has landed out of bounds or is lost, you're encouraged to hit another ball. This is called a provisional ball. A provisional ball is not a mulligan. Hit the provisional ball and then move to the area where your first shot landed. If your first ball is inbounds, then either you or your playing partner should go over and pick up your provisional ball and play your first shot. But if your first ball is out of bounds or lost, then take the penalty and play your provisional ball. This will eliminate the time it would take for you to go all the way back to the tee and hit another tee shot. Provisional balls can save valuable time and play a key role in keeping the game of golf moving in the right direction. Provisionals are acceptable. Mulligans are not. Oh, and by the way, after you tee off, pick up your tee. If everyone left their golf tees laying around, the tee box would look like a lumber yard. Golf's an individual sport, often played in groups of 4, otherwise known as foursomes. If you go to the golf course alone, try to find a group to play with, or pair up with other single players to form your own group. If the course is busy and you don't have a partner to play with, chances are the pro shop or starter at the first tee will pair you up with somebody. Playing in foursomes provides for optimum course usage and minimum delay. Pairing up with strangers is a great way to make new friends and business contacts, and after just a few holes and a couple of laughs, strangers often become lifetime friends. Groups of 5 or fivesomes are usually permitted only at low traffic times and are subject to prior approval of the club pro or starter. You know, it's been said that a bad day on the golf course beats a good day in the office anytime, and I tend to agree with that. But 18 holes of stop-and-go golf is no fun for anybody. Now, everybody has the right to play the game of golf, no matter what your ability is. But it's also your responsibility to keep the game moving along. And here are a few tips to help you do that. First of all, watch the ball. During all my years on tour, I've yet to see a player put the ball in the fairway every single time. The fact is, from time to time, we all hit shots we'd like to take back. But when it happens, follow the flight path of the ball and watch where it lands. If you're not hitting, you should be watching. Locate a landmark near your ball, like a tree, rock, or a bush, to help spot the ball. Take a direct path toward the landmark. This will help cut down the amount of time you'll spend searching for the ball. Unless you're in a tournament, spend no more than a couple minutes looking for your ball. If you've picked out a landmark and followed a direct path to the ball, and you don't find it within a couple of minutes, chances are it's been eaten by the golf ball gods and is gone forever. While searching for your ball, if you find another ball that isn't yours, there's a good chance that the ball is being played by someone around you. So just leave it alone. If you can't find your ball, don't compound the problem by playing someone else's. Keep your eyes on the ball, otherwise they might have to call in a traffic cop to straighten out the traffic jam you've just caused. You know, people think the water hazards on the golf course are there to make your life miserable. They're really not. They're there to add beauty to the golf course, make the game more challenging, and who knows, you might even, catch fish. If you disturb the beauty with an ugly shot into the water, and you know that there's no chance of retrieving it, then don't waste time trying to replenish your ball supply by fishing for the balls submerged by the thousands of others who have made the same mistake before you. Fishing for golf balls will bring your golf game to an abrupt halt and will very often do the same to the groups behind you. Eventually, the players behind you will get tired of waiting and will play through. While you're trying to fill your golf bag with waterlogged golf balls, you might end up getting hit by a bad shot, similar to the one that you made minutes earlier. And as a result, you could find yourself with the rest of the sunken treasures at the bottom of the lake. Regardless of your level of play, whether you're a beginner, intermediate, or an expert, everybody has a bad hole every now and then. Hitting the ball back and forth from one side of the fairway to the other will simply drive your score higher than the national debt and will do little to improve your game. If you reached or exceed the maximum score for your handicap on one hole, do yourself and everybody else on the golf course a favor, pick up your ball, ride off the hole, and get a fresh start on the next tee. You know, golf's a great time to socialize with your friends, provided it's done at the right time. Here's a little rule to remember. Talk while you walk, not while you wait. The time you spend waiting to make your next shot should be time spent preparing for that shot. While others are hitting, you should be checking out the yardage to the hole, selecting your club, and visualizing your shot. If you'd spend as much time concentrating on your game as most people do socializing, you might be joining me on the Pro Tour sooner than you think. Some of the best rounds of golf are played with good friends, but concentration leads to lower scores, and lower scores make great golf even better. As I mentioned a moment ago, it's the responsibility of everyone in your group to keep pace with the group immediately ahead of yours. In the event that your group slows to the point to where the group ahead of you is in another county, and the group behind you is breathing down your neck, then you are obligated to invite the group behind you to play through. Unfortunately, when the course is crowded, there will usually be endless groups behind you. which means you must pick up the pace or spend the rest of the day picking grass, watching the remaining players on the golf course play through. If you're being pressed by a single player or a twosome and you have room in your group, you should invite the player or players to play with you or to play on through. When the course is crowded, sandwiching will occur. That is when the pace in front of you slows to a crawl, but at the same time you are being pressured by the group behind you. If you're doing your part to keep the game moving, don't be pressured. If you're playing at a quicker pace and all of a sudden things begin to slow down, be patient. Very often the course is full and the groups ahead of you can't play any faster. Hitting your ball into the group ahead of you will do little to speed up the game and will most certainly irritate the players on the receiving end of your incoming air assault. Never hit into the group ahead of you. It won't speed up your game and somebody could get seriously hurt. If a big shot behind you feels compelled to hit into your group, after the round is over, go into the clubhouse, locate the guy who has no idea what golf etiquette is, and lend him this tape. Perhaps the most important word in the game of golf is a four-letter word. It is a universal word used to warn other players that your shot is offline and headed in their direction. And that word is four! You see, it really does work. If you think your ball's in danger of hitting anybody, yell four immediately, because a four-letter word in the right direction could save somebody's life. This is an out-of-bounds stake. As I mentioned earlier, nobody hits the ball perfect every time. Even the so-called experts hit a ball out of bounds every now and then. Many golf courses are surrounded by private homes, and if the people living in these homes wanted you to play golf in their backyards, rest assured they'd send you an invitation. If you hit a ball into somebody's yard, don't compound the problem by rearranging the landscaping or snooping around the house for the ball. If you can see the ball from the course and the ball is easily accessible, walk into the yard, get it, and get out. Don't try to save strokes by hitting your next shot off expensive sod on private property. Take your penalty, swallow your pride, and get hungry on the next hole. Unless you own your own golf course, you've probably paid a greens fee or a membership fee to play. Now these fees go toward the maintenance of the golf course. To help keep the fees down, take care of the golf course while you're playing. Start by reducing and replacing your divots. Don't take a lot of divots while taking your practice swings. A good iron shot from the fairway will often tear off a small piece of turf called a divot. If you follow through with your swing, the divot will usually fly just a few feet ahead of your stance. After watching your ball land, walk forward, pick up the piece of turf, and place it back on top of the newly exposed soil. The fact is, an unreplaced divot takes several months to repair itself, while a properly replaced divot will fully recover in just a few days. You know, playing in the sand is fun when you're at the beach, but the novelty wears off on a golf course. There's nothing worse than walking up and finding yourself in a bad lie because somebody didn't rake the bunker properly. If your ball lands in the bunker, first of all, evaluate the shot from outside the bunker. Envision the shot in your mind. Take your practice swings while standing outside the bunker. You are forbidden from grounding your club in the bunker while taking a practice swing. Therefore, do your homework outside the bunker before you step in to take the test. Once you're ready, step up to the lowest point of the bunker close to your ball. Walk in a direct line to your ball, plant your feet firmly in the sand, and prepare to take your shot. Take your shot. After the ball has cleared the bunker, you must rake the sand. Rake all the holes, the bumps, and the footprints as you back out of the bunker, following the same path you walked in on. If you're trying to lower your score, it will be in your best interest to stay out of the bunkers. But they're part of the game, and you should always leave them in better shape than you found them. This will help minimize the amount of yard work left for the next sand-burdened soul. You know, more golf games are won and lost right here on the green, so a player needs all the help that he can get on the putting game. When lofting a ball onto the green, the ball will very often leave an indentation in the green called a pitch mark, or more commonly referred to as a ball mark. Putting over a ball mark can seriously throw your putt offline and off target, costing you valuable strokes. After hitting onto the green, look around for your ball mark. Once you've located it, take a tee or a divot repair tool and stab around the mark, gently lifting the turf underneath. Once you've propped up the turf, tap it back down with your putter so it becomes level with the rest of the playing surface. If you find a ball mark on the green, whether it is yours or not, fix it. Ball marks take just a few seconds to repair, and the time you take to repair them will go a long way in maintaining the texture and playability of the putting surface. Try to leave the green in better shape than you found it. Practicing good golf etiquette on the putting green goes a long way in keeping step with the 4-hour round. But remember this, if you're not putting, you should be preparing. While one player is putting, you should be reading the green and lining up your putt, but be careful not to distract the player who is putting. Traditionally, the player farthest from the hole will be the first to putt, but in the interest of time, and if you're ready and not in another player's line, step up and knock it in. If no caddy is available, the player's ball who is closest to the hole is responsible for tending the pin. The individual tending the pin should ask those about to putt if they'd like the pin in or out of the hole. Leaving the pin in the hole will often give the person putting a better line to the hole. Once the player strikes the ball, the pin should be taken out of the hole and carried back away from the hole and off the green. While waiting to putt, never lean on the flagstick or your putter. The weight of your body will drive the base of the pin or putter head into the green and damage the grass. Always use your hand to retrieve the ball out of the cup. Using your putter to retrieve the ball can also damage the lip of the cup. Be careful not to damage the lip of the cup with the end of the flagstick. Whether you're tending the flagstick or putting, be aware of where each ball lies on the green. Never step in another player's line. Step over the line and into position. If your ball mark is in the general area of another ball that is further away from the hole, place a ball mark directly behind your ball and pick it up. If the ball mark is in another player's line, move your ball mark one putter head length to the left or right of the original mark. Once the player has hit, simply measure one putter head length back to the original mark and reset your ball. Unless you're in another player's line, don't waste time by marking your ball. If you have a safe line to the hole, then save time by putting continuously until holding out. Try to be aware of shadows so you don't cast shadows over other players' lines to the cup. When walking on the green, pick up your feet. Dragging your feet will leave scuff marks which severely damage the putting surface. Pull carts and golf bags should never be placed on the putting surface. These items can and will do severe damage to the green. When you're finished playing out the hole, don't waste time replaying putts, adding up your score, or settling wagers. You'll simply frustrate the players behind you and back up traffic. Pick up any extra clubs that you may have carried to the green and move on to the next hole. You know, a golf cart is a convenient mode of transportation, but like any motorized vehicle, there are rules that you must follow. At most golf courses, cart path restrictions will be posted at the 1st and 10th tees and are often indicated with flags or signs. A red flag means the mandatory cart path rule is in effect and driving off the cart path is strictly forbidden. A yellow flag indicates that the carts are prohibited from fairways but are permitted in the rough and on cart paths. A green flag or no flag usually indicates unrestricted cart use in designated areas. You should check in at the pro shop about cart restrictions before driving to the first tee. Very often the course pro will implement the 90-degree rule, which means you may drive your cart onto the fairway at a 90-degree angle from the cart path to your ball. Take your shot and then return to the cart path at the same 90-degree angle. While the 90-degree rule mandates minimal cart usage in the fairways, use the cart path whenever possible. If the mandatory cart path rule is in effect, or for some reason you're unable to drive out to your ball, take 3 clubs with you. Take the club you think you'll need, along with one more and one less. This will eliminate having to go back to the cart to change clubs. When sharing a golf cart, drop your partner off at his ball. You should then drive to your ball, play your shot, and then go back and pick up your partner who should be walking toward his next shot. If you are waiting for another player to hit, be sure to allow a player enough room to swing his club freely without being distracted. As you approach the green, park the cart between the green and the next tee. Don't park your cart in front of the green and never drive on the green. One trip over a green or a tee box can do severe damage and cost you thousands of dollars in repairs. Once you've parked your cart, if your ball isn't on the green or if you're not sure, take your chipping or pitching clubs with you, along with your putter. You should never have to walk back to the cart to get clubs. Golf carts are not stock cars and not meant to be used for drag racing. Driving too fast or out of control can throw you or a passenger out of the cart, or send the cart out of control, which could result in serious injury. Use extreme caution when driving a golf cart, especially on hilly terrain or wet grass. Cart rules and restrictions are implemented and enforced to maintain the golf course and ensure your safety. When driving a golf cart, use your head. Keep the carts in designated areas only and obey the rules. As I mentioned earlier, golf should be a game of rest and relaxation, but it is also a game of patience, concentration, and composure. Golf takes years of practice to perfect, and I've yet to see a player at any level who has perfected the game. Throwing temper tantrums or your golf clubs will do absolutely nothing to improve your game, but will disturb others around you, and it may be a ticket to an early exit off the golf course. Keep a level head at all times.
Sorry.
While playing golf, you're entitled to have fun. If you're not, then something's wrong. But just because you're not in your own backyard, that doesn't give you the right to become intoxicated and belligerent. Hitting a rock-solid projectile off a wooden tee with a metal stick is not only dangerous, but it's also pretty stupid. Somewhere along the line, somebody's going to get hurt. It's an invitation to disaster. If you insist on drinking, then be responsible and do it in moderation and stay in control. By studying and practicing good golf etiquette, I can assure you that you'll play with greater comfort and composure and probably have more fun in 4 hours than you thought was possible. And here are a few rules to remember. Here are the basic rules to remember. 1. Be on time. 2. Hit when ready. 3. Pick up the pace. 4. Keep the game moving. 5. Have fun in 4 hours. Most importantly, don't be afraid to ask for help. The world's most successful athletes all have coaches. So contact your local PGA professional and ask for some assistance. Sign up for a lesson today. You'll be glad you did. I'm Payne Stewart, wishing you all the very best and good golfing.